Third Sunday of Advent, Year A, Gaudete Sunday, December 14th, 2025. The Advent season calls us to hope, peace, joy, and love. In this year of hope, we remember our commitment to God, who is our hope and salvation. Christ is our peace. Today is Gaudete Sunday, the Sunday of joy. We are more than halfway through Advent, and the Church invites us to pause to take a breath and remember Christmas is almost here. God's promise is closer than ever before. Isaiah sets the tone for us. He describes a world coming back to life under God's touch. The desert shall rejoice and blossom. It shall bloom abundantly and rejoice with joy and singing. He paints a picture of a desert bursting into bloom, dry, lifeless places suddenly filled with color and music. Isaiah says that when God shows up, the blind will see, the deaf will hear, and those who couldn't speak will sing for joy. In other words, God brings life where there was none. God restores what's broken. That's why we rejoice today, not because everything in our lives is perfect, not because all our problems are solved, but because Christ is at work, and Christ is coming with healing, with mercy, with salvation. Our joy isn't based on our circumstances, but on God's faithfulness. You will notice the rose-colored vestments and the rose candle on the Advent wreath. We only see this color twice a year, today and on the third Sunday, the fourth Sunday during Lent. It's the Church's way of saying, don't lose heart. God is near. So in today's Gospel, we meet John the Baptist at a tough moment. He is in prison, suffering for speaking the truth, and he wants to know, Jesus, are you really the one? So he sends his disciples to ask Jesus directly. And how does Jesus respond? He says, look around, the blind see, the lame walk, lepers are healed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, the poor hear good news. In other words, God's kingdom is already breaking in. People in John's time expected a political savior, someone to overthrow the Romans, but Jesus brings a deeper freedom. Freedom from sin, freedom from fear, freedom from death itself. He brings salvation that changes not just nations but hearts. John gives us a powerful example. He knows when his mission is done. He's willing to step aside so Jesus can take center stage. That's what authentic discipleship looks like. Pointing others to Christ, even if it means fading into the background. So what does this mean for us? Gaudete Sunday is an invitation to move from darkness to light, from discouragement to hope. The joy we celebrate is the joy of people being healed, restored, and renewed. It is the joy of knowing that God is still at work in us. James reminds us to be patient. Life, like farmers waiting for crops to grow. Some takes time to bloom. Some wounds also takes time to heal. So people in our life takes time with patience to grow. But the promise remains. God is near. God is walking. The desert will bloom as we get closer to Christmas. Let's remember, Christ isn't just coming in Bethlehem. He comes to us now in the Eucharist, in the Scriptures, in the simple kindness and generosity we share it with each other. May this season fill us with a joy that comes from knowing God is with us and for us. And may our lives, like John's, point others towards the light of Christ that is already dawning. Have a beautiful Sunday.